ArcFlow Enterprises in the studio. We're learning how to go from a thought to a design to an actual product from an engineering expert who has 10 patents under his belt and has worked in engineering for 30 years. How does hip hop, intertwine with what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you think about hip hop, you think about the origins of hip hop. So one of the founding fathers of hip hop was Grandmaster Caz. And he's quoted as saying that hip hop didn't invent anything, but it reinvented everything. The term remix, that's synonymous with hip hop. Hip hop is remix culture. And so this is how it brings to innovation. It's like, you don't necessarily have to come up with something just from out of thin air. You can take things that already exist and remix it. And so I actually teach them how to use the same principles that go into remixing music into remixing products. And so I have a course called Remix to Reinvent, where I'm teaching them how to take two songs that already exist, and then you're coming up with a remix of that song and creating something brand new, and then saying, okay, now you did that, we're going to do the same thing for a product. And I might give them a product. It could be a stapler, it could be a phone, or a chair, and saying, okay, how can you use a brainstorm technique to take this thing that already exists, and maybe you can take a part on there and substitute it or eliminate a part or reverse it. And that's how the most things that we use today, that's how they were created. Steve Jobs, he didn't invent the phone. He didn't invent the computer. He just was the one that said, how can I take two things that already exist and kind of merge them together? And so that's what innovation is. It's remixing things that already exist. And I think if you can do things that are culturally relevant and hands-on and get folks to see it through that lens, it changes their idea as them as creators. They will look at themselves as unlimited creators. They can always come up with something different. They just have to look at it through a lens that they're already familiar with.
And so this is why you feel that it's so important to teach kids at this early age